Okay. Just going to pull up the YouTube live here just to make sure things are rolling correctly with the audio. We're live. All right. I'm just going to check the others to be sure we are live. Good. And what are we doing here? What are we doing? Mute. Okay. All right, should be good here. Hopefully audio's good. It looks good on my end. I did hear the audio through the YouTube app and I muted it, so we should be solid here. Okay, so going over today's trades. Today was a bank holiday. I ended up taking 3 trades on MNQ. So today is the futures review for the NASDAQ. Now I do look at the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 and the Dixie in tandem with these. But that can be another video if anyone is interested in those things. But right now, just kind of gonna go through today's price action. So on the 4-hour chart here, currently, I'm gonna go down to the 1 hour and just kind of see or talk about what ended up happening. So we have these new week opening gaps. We ended up opening at 1800 on Sunday, gap down like 205 points. So pretty crazy open. And we ended up kind of accumulating. Then we had our move lower, and then we had a nice rally up, manipulation down to sweep out these overnight lows. And then we had a little bit of movement higher for the rest of the session. Asia is climbing currently. So coming into the morning, I was seeing that we had SMTs at these lows between ES and YM. I'm going to do all of this on MNQ just because that's where my executions and labels are for the trades that I took. So we're just going to keep this on here. I was looking at actual NQ, so mini futures. Oh, I got to mute something here. My audio is coming through on something. Sorry if you heard that. I'm just going to turn off my thing. Okay. So what is going on here? I got audio coming all over the place. What? Okay. Should be good now. So I was actually looking at NQ to give me confirmation for this entry down here, because a lot of times you'll have your inversion fair value gap entries not as clear on MNQ, but if you go over to the actual E-mini futures contract NQ, it becomes much clearer. And that was the case for this entry down here today. So first thing coming in to the morning, noticing that we had SMT at the lows here between ES and the Dow Jones, so YM. I can pull over ES here quick. So we ended up making a higher low. And let me just, I'm not going to put the SMT actually on there because I'm just going to pull the screen away. But let's, okay, so you see the higher low here, lower low here. I'll pull over YM. And then we ended up making a higher low on YM. Just barely. Okay. Pull these bad boys back over, and then we'll go right back to good old NQ. Okay, so with that being said, looking for a retracement into this range. So kind of what I am hoping to see eventually is this to be balanced via equilibrium. So 50%, the bottom of this new week opening gap, that gap down 200 points, would be a solid objective. Doesn't mean that I'm going to go in here and long all the way up here. It's just that's kind of something I'm looking for throughout the next day or so. 15-minute time frame. All right. So really, I mean, this was like a pretty solid play for me today. We had the overnight session make these relative equal lows down here. We have a double manipulation here where we sweep this internal high. We go from internal to external. We have a V-shaped recovery in the lower time frame, and then we have a couple equilibrium plays in here. So I'm just going to go straight down to the 2-minute chart, and we'll see what the entries are looking like. And then remember, we do have our SMT here. These lines down here, these are our macro time, so XX50 to XX10. And then this black line is my area of interest for looking to take trades. And I do allow myself to extend this slightly further back, depending on what price is doing. And then I also have another one of those lines at 1:30 p.m., but the market was closed early today due to the holiday. So coming into the morning, we came down after this internal sweep of liquidity. We created these relative equal highs here, and then we end up displacing downwards as our manipulation leg. This is also a market maker buy model internal to the bigger price range that is also hopefully going to be on the bigger time frame and market maker buy model. So model inside of a model. So we have our left side of the curve, our right side of the curve here. Now on the 2-minute down here on NQ, there was a solid V-shaped recovery momentum play. So I am going to switch over to NQ just to show you. So this is actual E-mini contract. Let me go to the 2-minute here. And I am going to just delete everything off of this to make this clearer. Okay, so if you see here on NQ, this is the time where I took the trade on MNQ. We had a solid inversion with no chop, good momentum, closure above this level. Now, I don't know if this would be considered a inversion suspension block because there is a volume imbalance on both sides here. I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing, as volume imbalances are always included when measuring out your gaps. But this right here, this closure was an indication that we have solid momentum, the type of PD array being quite strong. Tapping into that, I was expecting us to at least get to this high. So that's kind of what I was seeing going into the morning. So my entry was on the 950 candle. So we'll go back to MNQ. So I entered a little bit late because this ended up kind of running without me slightly. So I got in right at 25268 and a half. And then I got 4 out up here. And then my last one out here. So this is about like 25 points. This is like 50 points for that last one. So I'm going to mark that out here. It's not going to be exactly perfect, but you have the execution tags on there. That's one thing I don't know why people online don't show those. But it doesn't matter. We're doing it. Okay, so we had that. Stop was below the low of the 2-minute on NQ, which I was using for reference. I think I have an execution video. I'll be posting that as well. So we have 4 on, 1 off. So this next play was a solid play. So today was like a silver platter kind of day where price was just, had the bullish narrative underway. I was expecting us to have the immediate term draw on liquidity be the bottom of the new week opening gap from prior. So this is a new week opening gap from January 4th, as these act as like limiters on price to be drawn towards, and then it decides what it wants to do. We had a retracement off it. Now we're trading through it and hopefully higher tomorrow. But this play here, we came back down to equilibrium, which is a super solid play here, in my opinion. We did have all of these relative equal highs here that were not tapped. So we had this one, that one, this one, and then this one engineered right before those were taken. They're all dotted lines. That's fine for now. I mean, you get the idea. So this has liquidity above it, seen as resistance. We come down to equilibrium of this range, deemed discount down here. And then we have an inversion play on the lower time frames here. So I'll go to the 30 seconds with a bullish narrative. Now, this blue box that just showed up, I have this gaps indicator. This is the opening range gap from regular trading hours close to regular trading hours equity open at 9:30. So if I toggle this off here and just show you, this is the regular trading hours close to open the gap for today. So I was hoping that we would have traded to the first quadrant of it, which would be, I don't think I have them marked out here. Let me go check. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so first quadrant is a really good draw on liquidity. So you have your opening range gap, 9:30 equity open opens, and then if you're already predisposed bullish, at least seeing price get to that first quadrant is a solid play. But I was looking for shorter term holds today, just being a bank holiday, not letting runners, run too long, just because possibility for it to be a lower probable day. But today delivered silver platter after silver platter, which was awesome. So we had a 30-second inversion down here in a discount. Might have even been a 10. Well, there's a volume imbalance there. Again, this is one where you could look at NQ, and there's probably a little bit better of a play here. But just being predisposed bullish was why I got in here. So we came into a discount of this leg, predisposed bullish, wanting to see us trade up to here and eventually the new week opening gap low. But again, I'm not looking for super long holds just due to it being a bank holiday. So we also use the bottom of the opening range gap as support here, buys closing above. We dip down into discount. This candle trades back above, closes. Then we inverse this 30-second gap here. So looking for a short-term play here. Very little stop on this one, very little risk. 4 off there again, 1 off at the bodies of the candles here, because I've been finding with this constrained order flow. So when I say that, what I'm referencing is the coiled up order flow that we've had over the past couple of weeks to months, just kind of squeezing here. Price is kind of like coiling itself up, and that's kind of what I'm referring to. So with that being said, all of this price action in here, I've been noticing that when we come up to highs, a lot of times we'll fail to get those highs. Now, like we did get it in this instance where we did take out this high of this wick here, but I've been noticing that putting your take profits at the bodies before the wicks, where the bulk of the volume of price delivery was, a lot of times the price action will wick through the bodies, but leave that high intact, if that makes sense. That's happened, I think 3 times in the last like 2 or 3 trading days that I've seen. So this week and next week, I will be putting my take profits a little bit ahead of the highs, if that makes sense. And then we had a run up here. So we had this, I'll move my equilibrium line to here. And then this becomes our new range. So we dip into discount from this low to this high, this low to that high, and this low to that high. So we're in a discount. Still looking to see the bottom of that new week opening gap traded to. We engineered liquidity. This line right here is the midnight opening price right here. So all this price action ideally wasn't here. So it was easier to see, but the 0000 was the midnight opening price. So we stop at midnight opening price, bodies close just at it. We roll over. This to me is engineered liquidity before we hit this new week opening gap low and before we hit the first quadrant of the opening range gap. So multiple confluences here. Let's see if there was SMT here. So there was, I'll pull over YM. Sorry, I have these three charts on here. It's a little hard to see with just the OBS software. So this is that area right here, I believe. Yeah, so right here. So oh, you can't even see it. There you go. Okay. So YM made, I guess this would be considered relative equal highs, but made a higher low. And then let me pull this over, back to normal. Okay, very good. Much better. So I guess technically no SMT. So I lied. Sorry. So this is a higher high. So forget what I was saying. They all made a higher high. YM is almost a relative equal high, but technically no SMT. But we are in a discount again with a predisposed bullish narrative. Order flow is definitely showing us that it wants to go higher. So we get in here. I'll go down to the 30-second again so you can see the 4 and 1 that I took off for contracts. And here we go. Entry is here. And then final TP was at those right here. So what I was shooting for the final TP was this candle here acting as some kind of like order block. And I guess technically you might want to go to this one, the last one before the move, but any of these candles I was just looking for to kind of get out. I didn't really want to be in this trade very long because it was the third one. I had already told myself, if you go on my X platform, like I had posted these 2 trades, it was like, all right, I'm all out here. And then like, however long later, I post this, and I'm like, okay, wait, just kidding, I lied, I'm out here. So I wanted to do this last trade here because it was like, I mean, it gave it to you on a silver platter. It's just beautiful. So we had our solid day today for the bank holiday, and yeah, that was that. Really enjoyed today's price action. So very cool. This move over here is Asia. I just marked this out. This would have been a banger play here. But one other thing that I will mention, I'll go down to our 5-minute time frame just to make the chart look clearer. That doesn't apply to what I'm about to tell you, but this move was during the macro. This move was technically not, and this move technically was not either. So this main move was during the macro, but this macro here started this whole move. So predisposed bullish. That's why I liked these equilibrium plays where you dip into discount of this current parent leg, discount, and then boom, you dip into a discount again of this internal leg here, and then boom, and just super fluid flow state trading today. So I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And all right. And I think with that, I'm just going to end that here. Yeah, good luck tomorrow. If any of you are trading, this is not financial advice. This is entertainment purposes only. And I'm just trying to document my experience and kind of the things that I'm seeing in price action. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.